Oxford Read and Discover Level 6, Caring for Our Planet by Joyce Hannam. Read by Christopher Ragland. Published and copyright Oxford University Press, 2010. Introduction. On our planet, Earth, there are many beautiful places. Sadly, some of the things that people do are damaging our planet. We must care for it to keep it safe and clean for all the plants, animals, and people living here. What beautiful places can you see below? What beautiful places are there in your country? How do people damage our planet? How can we care for our planet?
Discover!
Now read and discover more about caring for our beautiful planet. Chapter 1. Using Resources Carefully. Our planet gives us many natural resources like air to breathe and water to drink. It gives us plants and animals to eat, and coal and oil to make electricity. We need to use all these resources carefully. Renewable resources. Some natural resources, like water, sun, wind, soil, animals, and plants, can replace themselves naturally. They are called renewable resources. They will not run out if we don't use them too quickly. If we use them carefully, we will have lots of these resources to use for a long time. We all need water. Water is one of the most important natural resources on Earth. We need fresh water to drink, and we need it to grow and cook food and to wash. Plants, animals, and people all need water to live. About 70% of Earth is covered with water, but most of this water is salt water in oceans. People need fresh water to drink, but only about 3% of Earth's water is fresh water. In some countries, there isn't enough water. Sometimes, people have to travel a long way to collect water, or they move to a new place where there is water. Non-renewable resources. We use fossil fuels like coal, gas, and oil in power stations to make electricity. We use electricity to power lights. Refrigerators, televisions, and computers all need electricity too. Many people use electricity to cook and to heat their homes. We also use electricity to power some vehicles, and we use oil to make gasoline to power cars and other vehicles. The problem is that these fossil fuels cannot be replaced. So when we have used them all, they will run out. They are called non-renewable resources, and we are using them too quickly.
Discover!
In 2007, the 4 countries that used the most electricity were the USA, China, Russia, and Japan. Countries with more people need more electricity. Pollution. Sometimes we make our resources dirty. This is called pollution. We pollute the air when we use fossil fuels to make energy like electricity. We pollute water when we put waste into it. People, animals, and plants all need clean air and water. What can we do? There are lots of ways we can help. we must keep water clean, and we must not waste it. Some charities are helping people to collect and store water. They are also building new dams, wells, and pumps so that people can have clean water nearer their homes. We must use non-renewable resources carefully, and we must not waste them. Scientists are investigating ways to use renewable resources, like sun, wind, and water, to make electricity so that we don't need to use so many fossil fuels. We can also try to use less electricity. Chapter 2. Keeping our planet cool. Scientists think that Earth's climate is changing, and the weather is getting more extreme. They think that this is happening because Earth is getting warmer. Why is this happening? And how can we keep our planet cool? The greenhouse effect. Earth gets heat from the sun. Some of the heat escapes into space, but some is trapped by a blanket of gases. This keeps Earth warm enough for us to live here, and it's called the greenhouse effect because it works like a greenhouse. Global warming. When we use fossil fuels, we make a gas called carbon dioxide. Scientists think that we are putting too much carbon dioxide into the air. The carbon dioxide increases the greenhouse effect, and Earth gets warmer. This is called global warming. Extreme weather. Scientists think that global warming is changing our climate and making the weather more extreme. This is a problem for people, animals, and plants. Hurricanes are getting more dangerous. In 2005, a huge hurricane hit New Orleans in the USA. About 2,000 people died, and most of the city was flooded. There are many rivers in Bangladesh. There are always floods in the rainy season, but the floods are getting worse. Every year, some people die and thousands of people lose their homes.
Discover.
In Bangladesh, some people make floating gardens. They grow food on them so that they have food during the floods. In the Sahara Desert in Africa, there is not enough rain, and the desert is getting bigger. People have left their homes because they can't grow food. The Gobi Desert in China and Mongolia is also getting bigger. Desert sand blows all the way into cities in North Korea and South Korea. Melting ice. Earth is getting warmer, and the ice is melting at the North and South poles. As this ice changes to water, the sea level is getting higher. This is dangerous for low countries like Bangladesh and for low islands. Tuvalu is a country in the Pacific Ocean, and it's made of groups of islands. Parts of the capital, Funafati, are now only 10 centimeters above sea level. Scientists think that the ocean will soon cover the land, and the people who live there will have to move to other countries like New Zealand or Australia. What can we do? Scientists are investigating ways of predicting extreme weather so that people can be ready for it. Charities are working with people to build stronger and higher homes. They are also giving people special radios so that they can hear about extreme weather and move to a safer place. Our planet has natural ways to reduce carbon dioxide. Oceans and plants use carbon dioxide, so we must protect our oceans and plants. We must try to keep Earth cool by using fewer fossil fuels and producing less carbon dioxide. We need electricity, but we can make it without using fossil fuels. Instead, we can use nuclear energy or natural energy from the sun, wind, or water. Chapter 3. Making clean electricity. Scientists are investigating ways of making clean electricity that is not made with fossil fuels. This is important if we want to reduce global warming and pollution. How is electricity made in your country? Nuclear energy. Nuclear power stations make electricity without using fossil fuels. They don't put carbon dioxide into the air, but they produce dangerous radioactive waste. This waste is put underground or under the ocean, where it must stay for thousands of years before it's safe. If there's an accident at a nuclear power station, dangerous radioactive waste can get into the air and travel a long way. In 1986, an accident happened in Chernobyl, in Ukraine. People died, and many more people were sick. About 336,000 people had to move away to new homes. Scientists are working hard to make nuclear power stations safer. Solar energy. Another way to make electricity is to use the heat from the sun. Solar power stations only work well in places where it's very sunny all year long. In many countries, people use solar energy from solar panels to heat water in homes, offices, and swimming pools, and to power watches, calculators, and road signs.
Discover.
In sunny countries, you can cook by using only heat from the sun. All you need is sunshine and a solar panel. Wind energy. Wind turbines use the energy from the wind to make electricity. We can build wind turbines in isolated places and also in the oceans. They can be useful in colder countries where there is not enough sunshine to use solar energy to make electricity. Germany, for example, makes 6% of its electricity in wind farms. All around the world, there are more and more wind farms. Geothermal energy. Geothermal energy comes from the heat that is trapped underground. Hot water and steam from underground can be used to heat buildings and to make electricity. In Iceland, there is lots of hot water underground. Geothermal power stations make about 25% of Iceland's electricity.
Discover.
Hot water from the Svartsengi geothermal power station in Iceland is used to fill an outdoor pool. It's clean enough for swimming. Energy from water. We can make electricity by using energy from moving water in rivers, lakes, or oceans. This is called hydroelectricity. The first hydroelectric power station was built in 1882. It was a simple water wheel. It made enough electricity for 250 light bulbs. The biggest hydroelectric power station in the world today is the Three Gorges Dam in China. It can make enough electricity for whole cities. In 1966, scientists in France started to make electricity using energy from ocean tides. Then, other scientists used energy from waves. Scientists are now investigating better ways of using energy from tides and waves to make cheap and clean electricity. Chapter 4. Reducing travel. Most of us travel to school or to work every day. Maybe we travel by car to go shopping, or to visit friends, or by plane to go on vacation. Why should we travel less? The problem with travel. Cars, planes, buses, and ships all put carbon dioxide into the air. This increases the greenhouse effect and makes our planet warmer. Vehicles also pollute the air with other gases. This makes our cities dirty.
Discover.
Airports are getting very, very busy. About 59,000 international passengers travel through the main airport in New York every day. What can we do? It's very difficult to stop traveling, but we can think carefully about the way we travel. For short journeys, we can walk or cycle. This is also better than sitting in a car because exercise is good for us. We can share cars or use public transportation for some journeys. We can try to use small cars because they use less fuel than big ones. We should also reduce the number of vehicles that we make because we use fossil fuels to power the factories where we make the vehicles. Some people try to fly less often, and if they have to fly, they do something called carbon offsetting. They find out how much carbon dioxide their journey will produce. Then, they pay to plant enough trees to use all the carbon dioxide that the journey made. Cleaner cars. Engineers are investigating how to make car engines cleaner so that they won't damage our planet so much. Modern cars have machines called catalytic converters that change exhaust gases into cleaner gases. Instead of using gasoline, some cars use electricity, and others use a mixture of gasoline and electricity. Some cars use fuels made from plants. These biofuels can be made from nuts, corn, and other plants. There are also a few cars that use electricity made from solar energy. Maybe in the future, all cars will be powered in these ways. Cleaner planes. Engineers are trying to make plane engines that don't pollute the air, but it's very difficult. They know that lighter planes with bigger wings use less fuel. They are designing better planes all the time. Some planes can fly using biofuels, but many people think it's wrong to grow plants for planes. They say that we need the land to grow food for people. What do you think? A few planes are already powered by solar energy, but they don't have any space for passengers.
Discover.
The Zephyr plane is powered by solar energy. It's very light, and it doesn't carry people. In 2008, it flew without stopping for 83 hours. Chapter 5. Keeping our planet clean. Every day, we throw away waste from our homes, schools, offices, and factories. This waste is collected in trucks, then some is recycled, and some is burned or put underground. What do you do with your waste? Too much waste. People throw away too much waste. In some countries, there is not enough space to put any more waste underground. Some things that we throw away, like plastic bags, refrigerators, and cars, will stay underground for hundreds of years.
Discover.
In the USA, every person produces more than 2 kilograms of waste every day. So, for the whole country, that's more than 232 million metric tons. Waste makes pollution. Sometimes, people throw waste into rivers, lakes, or the ocean. Human waste and waste from factories also pollute water. More than 1 billion people in the world do not have clean water to drink. Every day, people die from dirty drinking water. Some people leave waste on streets, in the countryside, and on beaches. This pollutes our planet, and it's dangerous for animals if they eat the waste. Too many plastic bags. We throw away more plastic bags than anything else. Plastic bags are a huge problem for our planet. It's difficult to recycle them. You can use a plastic bag for only 5 minutes, but it can take 500 years to decompose. People throw away too many plastic bags, and this pollutes our cities, countryside, and oceans. Many fish, birds, and other animals die if they eat a plastic bag, because then they can't breathe or eat food. If people have to pay for plastic bags, they will use them less. In 2002, when people in Ireland were asked to pay for plastic bags, the number of bags used reduced by 90% in 1 year. In many countries today, there are no free plastic bags. Try to use plastic bags lots of times, or use a bag that is made of a natural material instead. What can we do? When we throw things away, we must do it carefully. Never throw waste into streets, rivers, or the ocean. We can throw away less waste, for example. We can reuse more things before we throw them away. We can throw away much less food and garden waste by using a compost bin. In a compost bin, worms and bacteria eat the waste and change it into good soil called compost. We can use compost to help plants to grow better. Another way to reduce waste is to recycle things. Many people already recycle lots of things, like paper, cans, plastic and glass containers, and clothes. We can also recycle bigger things like parts of cars. The recycled materials can then be used again to make new things.
Discover.
In Kamikatsu, in Japan, people are hoping to recycle everything by 2020. They divide their waste into 34 different types for recycling. Chapter 6. Protecting Plants. Without plants, we would have nothing to eat. We also use plants to make clothes, homes, and medicines. Plants take carbon dioxide from the air, and they give us oxygen to breathe too. Plants are really important. Food chains. All living things are part of food chains. Plants are at the start of all food chains because plants only need sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide from the air to make their food. Animals need to eat plants, or they eat other animals that eat plants. So we all need plants. Food and drink. Plants give us food like fruit, vegetables, and rice. We eat fruit and vegetables because they contain vitamins that keep us healthy. Cereal crops, like wheat and corn, give us flour to make bread. Many drinks, like tea, coffee, and chocolate, come from plants. We also use some plants as herbs or spices to make our food taste good.
Discover.
We use olive trees in many ways. We can eat the fruit and use oil made from the fruit for cooking. The oil is also good for our hair and skin. Medicines. For thousands of years, people have used plants as medicines. Many modern medicines are made from chemicals that were first found in plants. Many plants that are used for medicines grow in rainforests. For example, the rosy periwinkle from Madagascar contains chemicals that can treat 2 types of cancer. Reducing global warming. In the daytime, plants take carbon dioxide from the air to make their food. This helps to reduce global warming. It's one of our planet's natural ways to reduce carbon dioxide. Plants in danger. Plants need clean air and water to grow. Polluted air and water can damage them. Global warming is also a problem. Some plants cannot grow in their usual place if the temperature gets too high, or if there is extreme weather, like floods. We are using too many trees. Big international companies cut down huge numbers of trees for wood to make furniture or paper. Sometimes they cut down trees in rainforests to make space to grow crops or to raise cattle, so that they can produce cheap food like palm oil and hamburgers. What can we do? If we keep our planet clean and use fewer fossil fuels to reduce global warming, we will save millions of plants. We must also use fewer trees. We can use less paper and recycle it. Some charities collect money to buy trees to keep them safe. We can pay people to care for trees and use them in different ways to make money. For example, farmers can sell nuts from their trees. We must stop companies destroying rainforests to bring us cheap food. We can plant new trees. Countries and big companies can also replace the trees that they use. Finland and Canada already do this. Chapter 7. Protecting Animals. Earth is home to many amazing animals, from tiny bacteria that we can't even see to huge whales. We share our planet with all these other animals. Animals help us in many different ways, and we must protect them. We need animals. Many animals, like cows, sheep, and chickens, are raised for food. Farmers raise them to give us meat, cheese, eggs, and milk. In the ocean, there are fish farms where large numbers of fish are raised for food. We use animals to give us leather, wool, and feathers. Around the world, animals are also used to help us with work. They carry people and crops, and they help with farm work. Useful mini-beasts. Insects, like beetles, flies, and ants, help the planet too. Some insects carry pollen from flower to flower. Many flowers need pollen from another flower to make seeds. Bees fly from flower to flower to get nectar to make honey. People collect the honey and enjoy eating it. Many insects are useful because they eat waste, and worms help us by making compost and keeping the soil healthy. Animals in danger. Every animal has a special place to live called its habitat, but people are destroying many of these important habitats. When we cut down the rainforest trees, we destroy the habitat of gorillas and tigers, and hundreds of smaller animals. Global warming is also a problem for animals. For example, if too much ice at the North Pole melts, polar bears will lose their habitat. Hunters kill some animals for money. Many elephants were hunted because people could sell their ivory tusks for a lot of money. Now, this has stopped. But all around the world, hundreds of different types of animal, from insects to tigers, are disappearing because of lost habitats or hunting. Pollution is also a huge problem for animals. What can we do? We must protect habitats, and we must keep the countryside clean. Many countries have made special places called national parks or wildlife parks, where wild animals can live safe from hunters. In Africa, there are also safari parks where tourists from all around the world can come and see the animals in their natural habitat. Zoos today. Many wild animals are kept in zoos or animal reserves. If they are rare animals, the last ones can be kept safe there. They can have babies, and there will be more of them again. Many modern zoos keep animals in places similar to their natural habitat. Sometimes, they take the animals back to their natural home when it's safe. Some charities work to save rare animals and their habitats. You can pay to adopt an animal and help to keep it safe. These giant pandas live in a special animal reserve in China. Many people are adopting giant pandas and helping them here. Chapter 8. The Way Forward. Most people understand that we must care for our planet. We must now learn how to do it better. Earth is our home, and we must protect it for the future. What will you do to care for our planet? A simple life? Some people think that modern city life is bad for Earth. We use too much energy, and we make too much waste. They think that we should live in small villages, grow our own food on the land, and not travel far. This life would not damage our planet. New technology. Other people think that we cannot go back to a simpler way of living. They think that new technology can help us to find new, clean ways to travel and make energy. You can see some of this new technology in new types of house design. These new houses don't use any energy from fossil fuels, but they are still comfortable in very hot or cold weather. They have solar panels in the roof, and they are made of wood from forests where trees are always replaced. Do you think we should live more simply or use new technology? Or should we do both? What can we do? When we go shopping, we must think carefully about what we buy. Some food that we buy comes from near our homes. Other food comes on planes and ships from far away, and we use fossil fuels to transport it. Some people say we should eat more food that is grown near to our homes. Do we need summer fruit in winter? How much of the food that you buy was grown near where you live? We must not be greedy. For example, no one wants oceans with no fish in them. We can take some fish, but we must not take too many. We must be careful not to use too many of Earth's natural resources too quickly. In our everyday life, we can all help the planet in small ways. We can reuse and recycle as much as possible to reduce waste and pollution. We can turn off lights to save electricity. And we can try not to use our cars too much to reduce carbon dioxide. We can give money to charities that care for the planet. If millions of people do small things, this will make a difference. It's our planet. Scientists think that we don't have much time to reduce global warming. So we have to change the way we live now. The people of Tuvalu and Bangladesh are worried about their future. So are the people near the Sahara and Gobi deserts. They need everyone to help. We must all help to care for our planet.